Oh, God.
It'll be a totally boss story. Cool?
This movie is nothing if not worth the price of admission, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson no doubt upstages everyone's favorite funny little man in Kevin Hart. Those are just my thoughts.
Is that what you think?
Yes, Rock, and if I know where you're going, you're gonna cut me off mid-sentence.
It doesn't matter what you think!
Here's the fact, if you haven't seen this film, huge spoiler warning, so there you go, you've been warned. Let's start from the beginning. What is our main character's goal in this film in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson playing Robbie Weirdick, aka CIA agent Bob Stone, aka fired CIA agent Bob Stone, aka Black Badger?
Timeout. I'm pressing the timeout button.
You're right, Kevin, back on track. So Bob Stone seeks the help of Calvin Joyner, played by Kevin Hart, to use his accounting skills to find the transaction number of a winning bidder of a black market auction site. The item up for bids is the satellite keys containing military and state secrets. They also need to find out where the transaction of money for satellite keys will take place. And Calvin Joyner is honestly just kind of along for the ride. Bob needs to find the keys to prove his innocence, so we can prove that he is not the Black Badger and he did not kill his partner like the CIA thinks, so we can get his job back. But how does a highly trained, lethal brony, not jabroni, yeah, The Rock is a brony in this film, look it up. How does he end up fired from the CIA? Well, we hear the story from many people's perspectives. We hear Bob's side, we hear CIA agent Harris's side, wherein she believes that Bob is the Black Badger and that he's crazy and he killed his own partner Phil, who is played by Aaron Paul. Wait, Aaron Paul is in this film? But it wasn't in any of the trailers or marketing? That just seems like a lot of potential profit loss in ticket sales if you had simply just mentioned that Aaron Paul was in this film. Well, anyway, we hear the Phil side of the story of how he was so tired of hearing Bob drone on and on about his high school buddy Calvin the Golden Jet Joyner, just day after day. So Phil decided to fake his own death in order to get away from Bob and try his hand at selling the stolen satellite codes himself. Which leaves Bob in this whole wild goose chase in order to, or I guess Black Badger chase, in order to find out who stole the codes, who's buying the codes, and who killed Phil. It's at this point the film just throws twist after twist after twist at you, so let's sum it up. So Bob and Calvin find out the meet is in the Commons in Boston, Massachusetts. Calvin believes that the meet will be in an underground parking garage, as to be out of the view of innocent civilians. So Bob decides to head down and leave Calvin on the surface. Calvin sees CIA agent heading down as well, and believing that she is the Black Badger, Calvin heads down to warn Bob. Now Bob is meeting with the buyer and is forced to shoot Calvin in order to not blow his cover, and solidify to the buyer that The Rock is a trustworthy bad guy, I guess if there ever were such a thing. This is supposed to leave the audience believing that Bob was really the Black Badger all along, as he also has a set of fake satellite codes in his hand. Now the real Black Badger is Phil, Aaron Paul. He shows up with the real codes that were stolen. They're both forced to drop the codes at the buyer's feet, at which point CIA agent Harris shows up and a gunfight ensues. We see Calvin arise as he's okay as the bullet only grazed him. He decides to take the two keys for himself. He's chased by the buyer and Bob sees him by T-boning the driver so his friend can escape. Now on the surface, Bob and Phil fight it out. Phil gets the better of Bob with some crazy spinning kung fu kick. Calvin, fearing for his life, throws an empty gun at Phil. He delivers the classic Jesse Pinkman line when he says, "Nice throw."
Bitch! 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 Bitch!
Phil admits that he faked his death because he was tired of hearing about the coolest kid in high school and all of Bob's story about the Golden Jet. So Calvin does the one big lesson he learned from Bob. No, not that.
90% of spy work is distraction.
By backflipping over him, at which point Bob goes full-on Mortal Kombat fatality and rips out Phil's throat. So Bob proves his innocence, that he's not a crazy, deranged agent, and he gets his job back. Phil gets killed, and Calvin finally starts his dream family. The codes get turned over to CIA agent Harris. They head over to their high school reunion, and our story happily ends around there. Oh yeah, and Bob gets naked and makes out with Melissa McCarthy. Look, I'm trying to get that image out of my head, okay? But this film did leave me with a lot more good things to remember. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and tell me if there's anything that I missed in the film. What was your favorite scene? Mine was between the couples counseling scene and Aaron Paul's Breaking Bad Easter egg. And how did you feel about this film? How did you feel about The Rock's character? How do you feel about Kevin Hart's character? I'll be back with videos like this and more, and as always guys, this is 5 Fingers with the Fingabang Show. I'm out.
It doesn't matter what you think!